In a VCT match against G2, Team Liquid was running a double controller setup with Omen and Brimstone on all 3 maps. They ended up winning this series and proving that Omen can be played as an aggressive duelist even on a professional levels of Valorant. And today your Radiant coach is going to explain you how did they execute this strategy, how can you implement it in your SoloQ games, and why is Omen, in my opinion, right now the king of SoloQ agents for grinding ranks in Valorant. In Act 2 of Ranked Episode 4, Omen received significant buffs to his teleport, flash and smokes. His utility is much more reliable and faster than ever before. He is able to put enormous amount of pressure on his enemies, he can reposition quickly to any location from any good or bad scenario, he can engage enemies in different combinations or take the map control for his teammates, in ways that no other Valorant agent can do. With his powerful one-way smokes, you can delay your enemies on both attackers and defenders side for a significant period of time. When I'm teaching players in my private coaching sessions how to play Omen properly, I always emphasize on his versatility and different playstyles. On both attackers and defender side, you can act as an aggressive duelist or a passive support. Omen is what you make out of this agent, and your skill to adapt in different situations is going to make a difference between you being hard-stuck Diamond/Immortal or getting into Radiant. For an example, on maps like Split, you can replace Sage on a defender's side and take full map control with his extremely powerful one-way smokes. These smokes are able to delay the enemy's push for whopping 45 seconds. And on almost every single map, you can replace any duelist with your aggressive, smart executes and support your teammates in the same time. He is able to utilize every single weapon in Valorant as well, to extremely high efficiency from shotguns to operator, thus making him the ultimate agent to improve in Valorant and control the outcomes of your SoloQ matches. For the past 2 years, I've been saying that Jett is the best character to grind Valorant ranks and improve at Valorant. But now, with the Jett nerfs to her dash ability, potential nerfs to Chamber as well, and changes in meta, Omen is going to become the SoloQ king in the hands of players that fully understand how to utilize his pressure-making potential. With Omen, I was able to easily reach top 74 Radiant players in Europe, and after all of these changes, I can firmly say that rank 1 is almost inevitable in the future, and I'm here to teach you how to grind Valorant ranks easily or improve as fast as possible if you want to compete at the highest levels and maybe even become a professional player. Thus, I highly recommend you to hit that subscribe button, turn your notifications on so you don't miss any important videos in future, leave a like and a comment if you want to see more specific agent guides, make sure to follow me on twitch.tv/Charlatan for my Iron 1 to Radiant series, grind to rank 1, or some live coaching and pro tips, and links to the other social media are down in description below. When you're playing Omen, you need to decide in the middle of your rounds, based on your previous experience and events, whether you want to play him as a duelist, pressure maker, or a support character. In round 5 of map 3 on Haven, Team Liquid was losing 3-1 against G2. In this round, they were playing a default strategy. They were collecting orbs for Sky ultimate, baiting out enemy's utility, and waiting to see if G2 will make any kind of aggressive push or rashed out decision. They were using Brimstone as a main controller agent, and with his smokes, they were blocking enemy's vision in Garage and B main area of the map, while applying an overall pressure in mid. Chamber and Sky were contesting the C long orb, baiting out enemy's utility and trying to find some picks with the operator and Chamber's teleport. They were contesting enemies aggressively. At the start of this round and in majority of rounds on the attacker's side, Omen was doing a fake teleport in A main area of the map. With his fake teleport being audible from long and short positions, G2 had a consistent pressure to make and keep one player anchored on A site, no matter how many members of Liquid they saw on opposite side of the map. Now, when you execute one play with Omen multiple times in a row, you create a certain mentality in the enemy lines, and you can try to abuse that mentality in future rounds. With Omen, you're not only playing and positioning your utility for the current round in SoloQ, but you need to think 2 steps ahead and create an opportunity for yourself and your team. Because Liquid made so much pressure in different parts of the map, G2 thought that Omen, Chamber and Sky were just faking the pressure and that Liquid will end up on B site, where Brimstone completely blocked enemy's vision at the start of the round and made zero presence with Jett. But instead of that, Liquid's main plan was to bait out majority of G2 members to rotate towards the B site and C site, and to surprise enemies with a swift, coordinated push towards A. Unfortunately, G2 kinda read this strategy with the help of Avova's aggressive map control in C long, and they positioned Breach with Raze on A site. Now, even though Liquid wasted a lot of utility to create pressure, they still have 3 smokes remaining because of double controller setup, and they are performing 4-to-1 push into A site. Brimstone is smoking tower position with a default smoke, and Omen is smoking CT area of the map because he can do a very powerful one-way which completely blocks the enemy vision and retake potential. Smokes were perfectly timed, and in the same time as Jett and other team members are pushing long, Omen is performing an extremely powerful flash that can catch enemies in both short area and backside position, and as soon as he is done with his supporter's role, he initiates into the duelist mode, teleporting on top of tower position to create additional pressure on enemies, blocking their minimap with ultimate and potentially finding a few kills for his team. One thing that went wrong here is that Scream's flash from Sky was mistimed, and Jumpy was unable to peek completely flashed Breach and take an easy entry frag for his team. Fortunately enough, the remaining members of TL perfectly collided and surprised G2 members with this aggressive Omen teleport, and they took A site control. Now, because of one-way smoke's potential from Omen, Sky ultimate that they've collected at the beginning of this round, and Chamber's trademarks that are watching for the flank, G2 had no chance to retake this bomb site. But this whole round was mainly won because of initial pressure that they've made at the beginning. G2 had to rotate extremely slow because they didn't know if all members of TL are hitting the A site, and that double controller setup allowed them to have additional utility to make this type of a play. Right now, having 2 additional smokes, extremely strong flash ability, an agent that is versatile is so much better than having Jett or any other duelist that can easily be replaced by the strengths of Omen on both attackers or defenders side. If you properly utilize Omen in your team play, your ability to adapt during the match and in the middle of the rounds is unlimited. In SoloQ, you can also run this type of a double controller strategy. Let's say, for an example, you ask your Brimstone to smoke C long area and B main area every single round. Then for 3 rounds in a row, you push the A site. No matter what was the outcome of these 3 rounds on A site, you created a lot of mental pressure on enemies, and they will have to commit hard towards defending that specific bomb site in the future rounds. And what you can do in the 4th round, you can fake the push on A with 1 member of your team, while the rest of your team is camping in C long smoke. Enemies will probably leave only 1 member around garage area of the map, and your teammates are still going to have your default aggressive or one-way smokes to support them on C site. With Omen, you can fake enemies in different ways. You can use your fake teleport with some smokes that block enemies' vision. You can do a fake ultimate behind enemy lines and put enormous amount of mental pressure on enemies. He has a huge outplay potential, but you need to use your brain and game sense. Try to feel the enemies during the game, feel how they are rotating, how they are positioning, and figure out how you can bait them and bamboozle them. With Omen smokes, you're able to support your teammates and babysit them no matter where they are pushing at that moment of time. And with his global ultimate, you can still play together with your team, even if you're doing some kind of a flank or a fake strategy. In SoloQ environment, when you have the Omen ultimate, you don't need to play with your teammates. You can also do some kind of a holistic flanking strategies. For an example, you're doing some kind of a fake strategy, but enemies kill your spike carrier and team members in C-long area of the map. Usually what happens in SoloQ, all the enemies will rotate and gather around the spike. But you can take A-side control with your remaining team members or alone. Teleport on top of the spike and prepare yourself for post-plant with your one-way smokes. This one-way potential of Omen smokes is actually insane. When you take the A site, you can literally stop the enemy's retake for 15 to 30 seconds with this smoke. When you take the C site, you have those two smokes to delay enemy's push, and on B site we have those two smokes.
But Charlatan, what if my teammates are bad and they're scared to push?
If your teammates are bad, you can take the control of the rounds in your own hands. Your main controller can provide the default smokes, and you can execute bomb sites with some aggressive Omen strategies. For an example, Brimstone can perform smoke for tower position and CT on A site. You can place your smoke on top of the site box, flash the enemies at the back site, and teleport inside of your smoke. And now you can pick the enemies however you want and provide a proper pressure onto enemies that will allow your team members to follow you through the choke points. Make sure to watch my videos on advanced Omen executes, and in future I'll be sharing even more of these strategies, not only for Omen but also for other agents as well. And if you want to improve as fast as possible or reach higher ranks like thousands of other players, you can join my official Discord server and hire me as your private personal Valorant coach with my professional programs for fast players improvement. One more way how you can utilize Omen for aggressive plays is using your duelists to push the bomb sites with them. Omen and Jett are one of the best SoloQ agents for grinding Valorant ranks. In this round, Team Liquid is collapsing onto B site. Jett is using her regular smoke dash execute to engage enemies and provide pressure, allowing her team members to breach through this choke point. Omen is teleporting inside of the Jett's aggressive smoke to surprise enemies with a double peek potential. No one is going to suspect that both you and Jett will come out of her smoke. Unfortunately, this play should have been executed with a bit better timing, smoke positioning, and Soulcast kinda missed his teleport a bit. But this is the perfect example how you can utilize your Omen aggressive plays together with Jett in SoloQ. Let's say, for an example, you're the main controller in your team, the only one, and you need to support your teammates with default smokes on B site. You can place one smoke for A and one smoke for C-link area of the map, while flashing enemies on the right side. Tell your Jett player to smoke dash on top of the site, and you can use her smoke to engage enemies aggressively and surprise your enemies with a double peek potential. And remember, Omen is the best SoloQ agent right now, but if you have proper strategies and mindset to unlock his full potential. And that is why I'm here to help you out. If you enjoyed this video and you wanna see more of them in the future, make sure to hit the subscribe button, turn your notifications on, leave a like and comment. Follow me on twitch.tv/charlatan for some epic Valorant live streams. Check out my other social media down in the description below, and join my official Discord server if you want to hire me as your personal Radiant coach. I'm yours, one and only, Warden of the Tricksters community. Thank you for watching, and cut, baby!